So, I am in the middle of some books that I really need to get to before I get to the other books that I want to get to in this reading vlog. I'm reading this one, The Atlas Paradox. It is so good. Like, this one's a really, really good one. It's, I'm gonna jump up, come on. Good girl. So this one does talk a lot about gods and time travel, and it is still dark academia. You don't really know, you don't know who to root for, you don't know who to trust, you don't know people's motivations and anything like that. So this is really good. I'm up to page 276 in this one. The problem with my reading now is that it is taking me forever to finish a book. This is the problem I had last year as well. It's just taking me forever to finish off a book. I'm hoping with this reading vlog I can try and fix that. Also, I'm reading this one as well. This one is fine. I don't really have too many thoughts to say about this. It's just fine. I'm going to read a little bit of this one before I stop and have a bit of a break. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed, can I get this book done tomorrow? I'm really hoping so, I really am. Okay, it is around 10:50 now at night. I'm nearly up to the 300 page mark in this book. The problem is I'm not focusing enough, like I'm not focused on reading. I have too much going on in my head, but hopefully I can get this book done tomorrow because technically it's 423, well actually no. The book itself, The Atlas Paradox, is 400 pages, but this book is actually 423 pages, and that's because there's another, like, a preview to another Olivie Blake book in this one. So technically, I've got little over 100 pages left to read. I mean, technically, if we're really being technical. So hopefully it won't take me too long, and especially since we are getting into an interesting part of the book now, so things are kind of moving along, and the characters really haven't been together in a room for a really long time. Like, it's nearly the end of their second year studying in the Alexandrian Society, and they've just started coming together as a group again. They've been pairing off with each other, but they haven't been together as a group for a very, very long time. I don't know what else to say about it other than I am enjoying it. I don't want to say too much because it's a sequel and I don't want spoilers, but this is my priority read for tonight. Hey, hello, good morning. It is the next day now. Did not read any more of The Atlas Paradox, unfortunately. I only read just like one more chapter because I was playing around with my new camera. So that's where my attention was for most of the time, for most of the night. And I got a busy 2 days. I have the next 2 days off, Thursday and Friday, and they're busy. Fingers crossed. Actually, no, I know I can get this book done today. Today I should be able to, like, come on. It's a little ridiculous how long it's taking me to read these books. A good thing though that the Great Zoo of China, it's a good thing though that that one is pretty fast paced and the chapters are short. The book is thick. It's like a 500 page book. It is on the thicker side, but the wording or the letter sizing, the wording size is pretty big, so, and I feel like I'm breezing through that pretty quickly, so says I. And then I have 2 books that I want to get done in this reading vlog. That's my plans. I got a lot of things to do. And then tackle this messiness, all the drawers in there. Very messy. But then I also have to do those as well, which I'm not prepared for. Like, it's messy. I have finally finished The Atlas Paradox. It's definitely a little after midnight. I don't know the exact time, but definitely after midnight. I finally finished this damn book. Took me a week and a half to read it, but I still finished it. I finally finished it. It was really, really good. I really did enjoy it. It was such a busy day today, so I apologize for the lack of like updates, because it genuinely has been a busy day for me. A lot of things were happening. My first book of the month, I do have this one, just in case I can't fall asleep and I want to read a little bit more. I don't think I will read this tonight. I have no idea what I want to do tonight. I'm tired. I'm tired. I think I want to sleep. So that's what I might do. And I'll see you tomorrow when I have something important to tell you. Okay, so it is 10:22 now at night. I do have to go to work tomorrow, so I do have to try to go to bed at a reasonable time. We'll see how that goes. I am page 156 in this book, and it just really hit a big oh shit moment where things are going downhill. Things are going downhill already, and it's action-packed. I really like the action in this one. I'm trying not to think of it as a like Jurassic Park with dragons. I'm really trying not to think of it like that, but I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from thinking that. But it's good. I'm really liking it now. I don't know, if the action keeps up like this, it might end up being a 4-star. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna have to keep reading. It was looking like a 4-star in the beginning, just some things with the writing, just some things with how things were described kind of felt a little cliche for me, because this book came out in 2014. It just kind of feels a little bit typical for the time that this book was published. Now it's really starting to get somewhere, and I'm really enjoying it now. I'm gonna have to continue on and see how I go with it. I do want to try read a little bit more before I do go to sleep, and it's reading pretty quickly now because we are getting into an action part. It's really engaging me, it's really captivating me, it's action-packed. I'm really enjoying it. I don't know how they're going to get out of the situation. It's a very sticky, scary situation. Hello, it is Monday now. Apologies if you can hear background noise. The TV's on in the other room. How are you all going? I actually had a pretty good weekend. I will admit I had a good weekend. I rested, I read The Great Zoo of China a little bit more, especially on Saturday. I've read quite a bit on Saturday. I'm up to page 245, which is the 4th evolution, which is part 4, and like that's how much I have left to go. I'm around the halfway point now, and it is still quite action-packed. They are still trying to get out of this zoo. It's still action-packed. It's quite gory, the action and the death, because obviously with something like this, people are going to die. Like, that's really no secret, but it's good. I'm enjoying it. The action is good. Okay, the book does the thing. If I can find it, there'll be a sentence, just a normal sentence, and then I'll have an exclamation point. And it's not even like they're shouting, it's just like, oh my gosh, I think that's what the point of it is. Yeah, anyway, I don't think I can find it. It won't even be like dialogue that the characters are saying. It won't even be dialogue. It'll just be a normal sentence, like describing what's happening in a scene, and there'll be like an exclamation point, almost as if it's like to say, oh my gosh, kind of thing. It's kind of, I don't like that. If I'm being completely honest, I really don't like that at all. But yes, it is quite good. Last night I did not read at all because I want to see Sunday as my rest day. Doing 2 9-hour shifts back to back. Saturday I'm fine with reading. Sunday I'm still like trying to get over the Sunday period, and I just don't want to read, I guess you could say, on a Sunday. I'm noticing that I don't read on Sunday, and that's really not a big issue for me. So yes, I'm gonna try and plot along with this. I'm nearly at the halfway point, and it's reading very fast, so I don't think it'll take too long for me to finish in a few days. I really don't. it is now the next day and I got some exciting book mail. Okay, scissors time. They got sticky tape. I've been waiting for this to come for a little while now. Being stuck in transit. Like, I know what it is. Here it is. The Walking Dead Compendium 4. I can finally finish off the series. Oh boy, I'm so excited. I'm so happy to have it. It's massive. It's the compendium. It's like the bind up of the last remaining volumes. I can't remember which numbers, but it's the last one. I'm really excited to have this, and I want to read it soon. It'll happen soon because I need to know what's going to happen. Look, I have a talent for spoiling myself for some things, and I already spoiled myself for how this is going to end. I'm just curious to see the events that lead up to it. I also started another book. I decided to change pace a little bit. I just needed a bit of a change of pace. I don't know if we are going to hit a slow point in the Great Zoo of China. I'm not entirely sure if we will, so I decided I needed a change of pace. So I started The Cabin at the Edge of the World, and it starts off pretty quickly about a man telling, like Leonard, telling little Wen that her life and her decisions are important to save the world, like her and her father's. Because she has two dads, her fathers are gay, which is really good to see, and they kind of talked about it a little bit, and I like Wen. She seems like a very observant, very sensitive little girl. Man, those chapters are long. Holy cow, the chapters are long, but it doesn't feel like it reads long. It feels like it reads pretty quickly, so I'm happy about that. The Great Zoo of China is going to be my priority read. I'll just be reading like a chapter here and there of The Cabin at the Edge of the World until I get the Zoo of China done. Hi, it has been a couple of days now, I believe. I did not update you yesterday, but I'm gonna update you now because I have finished the Great Zoo. Yeah, the Great Zoo of China. Look, I gave this one 3 stars, right? I finished it last night. Gave it 3 stars like I had just said. It's okay. The best part about this book is the dragons and the action and the gory death scenes, because I think if this death scenes or the gory action scenes, I guess you could say, if they weren't as gory as they were, I don't think it would be believable. So I liked that. The dragons were so freaking awesome. I really enjoyed the dragons, but just towards the end, like the last little bits of the book, a little bit too over the top, a little out there, like it's a little unrealistic in some areas. I was just thinking, what, really? And it was kind of like a little eye-rolly in some parts, but it is good. I think if you go into it not taking anything too seriously, and if you go into it knowing that you're going to have a fun time with dragons and action, gore, and even some violence, like not only just dragon on dragon violence, but also dragon on human violence, and also vice versa, you'll be okay with it. You might like it. Just don't take it too seriously because it does go a little overboard with some things. And yeah, look, I was tabbing like crazy in some parts. Some parts were just so fascinating. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. I don't have to say too much other than I've had a busy morning. I'm tired. I'm just ready to rest. I don't have too many things to do today or for the rest of the day. I did start The Drift by CJ Tudor. It is an anticipated release of mine, and it starts off where a woman, I think her name is Hannah, she is stuck in a coach, and the coach is taking her to a university, in like to the retreat, which is like a academy for really rich people. It's a very prestigious place, I believe, and the coach has been turned upside down. People are either dead or seriously injured. Something happened to make the vein that's transporting these students to this academy. Something happened to the... What was I saying? This is what happens when you babble on. You don't know what you say, or you don't remember what you were saying before. But oh yes, there is something mysterious that happened. Like, they don't know how or why the vein veered off. So there's a kind of mystery element. And it's good so far. I only read one chapter this morning. I didn't get too far into it, but that is my thoughts. I'm enjoying it. I'm hyped for it because I was reading it a little bit. Like someone's review, and there's something to do with like a flu outbreak. I don't know, I think it might follow 3 different people. I know it follows 3 different people, but I don't know if they're in like different time zones, or I don't want to say time zones, but different timelines. I'm not entirely sure, so that part is going to be very fascinating to try and figure it out. One part follows a pandemic, but the pandemic isn't the focus in the book. It's who is attacking these people in the coach in this like in this valley, not valley, but in this retreat, which is where everyone seems to be going to. So I'm looking forward to reading it, to try and piecing things together. Right now I'm gonna rest, and then I'll definitely do more reading, because I know with this one I was mainly reading this one at night, and I know I got a lot done at night time. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. I'll update you when I have read a little bit more of The Drift or The Cabin at the End of the World. I'm reading those 2 at the moment. I've only read a chapter of each, and I'm enjoying them so far. Okay, hello. It is Sunday now. It has been quite a while since I've updated you. I just haven't been wanting to be in front of a camera the past few days, and damn, this lighting is horrible. Holy cow. I don't have too much of an update. I just wanted to say, hey, I'm alive. The Drift by CJ Tudor has short chapters, so I'm getting through that quickly enough. I tell ya, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. What was the other book? Oh yes, The Cabin at the End of the World. That's getting interesting too. I'm liking that as well. I don't have too many thoughts about both books, because I am still making my way through them. I just wanted to say, hey, I'm alive. I just wanted a few days to myself. Life has been busy, like it always is. And yeah, that's all I had to say. I will see you tomorrow with an update. A proper update this time. Okay, next day now. I promised you a reading update, and a reading update you will have. I am at the 26% mark in The Cabin at the End of the World, and oh my god, those chapters are really, really long. If you hear any background noise, just ignore it. I don't have a proper mic yet for this camera, but I'm working on it. But oh my gosh, Cabin at the End of the World the chapters are so bloody long. Holy cow. But I am enjoying it. I've gotten to the part now where, like, it's really no secret what this plot is about. It's about 4 people who ruin a vacation of 2 parents and their daughter Wen, 2 fathers and their daughter Wen, and they go to this cabin to celebrate her birthday, but these 4 strangers decide to ruin it and say, hey, let us in. You got to make decisions to save the world. The 4 strangers have, like, told the fathers and Wen as well mainly the fathers. I'm up to the part now where they have broken into the cabin and they have said, look, you need to make decisions to save the world. We don't want to do this, but we have to. It's the first time we've done it. But I'm wondering if there's something biblical about it. I don't know. I'm having my sneaky suspicions, but I could be completely wrong, because who knows what's going to happen in this book. I noticed last night I should say, when reading this book, while reading a chapter of this book, when you read a perspective of one of the characters, they kind of go off on a bit of a tangent, and it does give you some background. Those tangents do give you some background into the characters. It kind of like it takes you out of the story a little bit. Either that, like there's two There's two things that I have about it, two opinions I have about it. One is that it gives you backstory into the characters because they're panicking about something, and then it segues into like a backstory of them. And then it's probably just them panicking because a lot of sentences kind of run into each other, so it's probably them panicking as well with these four strangers breaking into their holiday cabin. So that's another reason. Once I got that into my brain, I started to read it a little bit better because it was kind of taking me out of the story a little bit, these little side tangents that these characters went through or went on. And The Drift as well, I have been reading a little bit of that. I'm at the 14% mark now with that one, and that one's going good too. The chapters are very short and they're quick, and I'm going through it pretty quickly, so I'm happy about that. I don't have too many thoughts to say. There are some oh my gosh moments, but I don't really have too many theories or too many opinions because I'm pretty much at like the 50-page mark in a 360 something page book, so I don't have too many opinions on that yet. But yeah, that's my reading. That's how it's going so far. I will see you tonight, not any time earlier, but tonight with another update. Okay, it is now the next day. Unfortunately, I just did not get the chance to update you last night like I said I was going to. And I was on Goodreads for a good 2 hours, deleting all of the books in my want to read folder. It took me a good 2 hours and I got rid of just over 300 books. Okay, so I am going to wrap up this reading vlog here. So I'll just give you a quick little rundown on all the books I have read for this reading vlog. The first one, The Paradox. I was thinking of Paradox and Paris. I'm like, nah, that doesn't make sense to me. But The Atlas Paradox, this is a book I did not want to read for this reading vlog, but it was taking me a while to read through because there's a lot you have to keep your brain alert and awake for. And I was hoping that a reading vlog would help me like finish the book quicker, and it did. It did, I think. Gave this book 4 stars. Like, this is such a strong, good sequel. Absolutely loved it a lot. Very curious to see how it's going to end with the trilogy, with the last book in the series, which comes out on my birthday next year. Happy birthday to me! I just love the conversation about sentient beings and gods and even like time travel elements. And also, the characters are still shady as all heck. They all have massive crushes on each other. They all want to shag each other, you know what I mean? They all have their own like little pairing and it felt natural. I loved it so much. I can't remember if I said, I think I may have, but characters' goals are still kind of blurry, like what they want out of the Alexandrian society. But I feel like this book we're starting to get a little bit more of, but we still don't know what the characters want from the society. I mean, they're keeping it from each other, so why would they tell us if they're keeping it from each other? But anyway, really good, can't wait for the last book. I then read the entirety of The Great Zoo of China. This one was fine. It was good. It had really good action. Loved the dragons. The dragons were the best part of this book. It's just that it felt really over the top towards the end. It was just a little bit too ridiculous, a little bit too unbelievable. Yes, it did connect. Like the unbelievableness of it, I think that's a word. The unbelievable elements do tie into some of the observations that CJ, which is the main character that we are following, had in the beginning of the book. Yeah, it is point of view, dual point of view, I should say. I enjoyed that aspect, but the characters just felt a little same to me and didn't really feel any difference between them. I was a little bit confused into which character we were getting the perspective of until it actually mentioned the character's name. It just all felt the same to me. It was still good fun though. If you want something not as serious and fun and action-packed and entertaining, I do recommend this. It does read very, very quickly. I am up to the 20% mark. 26%. I've just passed the quarter page mark in The Drift by C.J. Tudor. Oh my gosh, this book is a roller coaster ride. Each point of view, because we get 3 different points of view in this one, each point of view follows a different character, and their ending, like the ending of their point of view, ends on a bit of a cliffhanger. Holy cow, the more I read and the more I progress in this book, the more we are knowing what happened, because it does seem like it is following like a pandemic of some sort, but I've heard people say that the pandemic isn't the main plot of the story. So I need to find out what is, because it is focusing more on the pandemic side of things and this outbreak that it seems to be happening. I'm having a feeling that each point of view that we are following is connected. They're like in the same timeline, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. It's just some little things I've picked up on. It is so fucking good. It's really, really good. And then I am also around I think I'm at like the 20% mark in The Cabin at the End of the World. This one's a really good one as well. It's just that the chapters are very long, and I think this book requires a lot more of my attention than my brain span can handle at this present point. It is good. It's very fascinating. It's very interesting. I had mentioned this before in a previous clip, but there were some of the characters go on a bit of a tangent. We do get multiple POV. We do get multiple point of view between Eric and Andrew, which are the fathers, to Wen, who was a little girl. I don't know if we will get the perspective of the intruders. I will have to read the book and see. Come on, Maggie, up, 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 up on the chair. Come on, up on my lap. Is that easier for you? Come on, up. Oh. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure if we will see the perspective. You can just see her ears. Look at that. Oh, you can anyway, back to being serious. I'm not entirely sure if we will see the perspective of the 4 intruders and these 4 people who were saying to Eric and Andrew, hey, like, look, you got to make some decisions so the apocalypse won't happen. I'm not sure, but I am very intrigued. And yeah, that's all I had to say in the books. Very good books, with the exception of one. But anyway, I think this vlog has gone on long enough, and I need to sort out a good point for how long these vlogs could be, but that's what the editing process is all about. So with that being said, I will let you get on with your day, and I will see you in the next video. See you later!